So, our early prelims, people, we have 3 fights. And, man, I mean, the card in general is fire, right? And, yeah, these are 3 very intriguing fights. Yo, so we start off with the welterweights. Right, we have Charles Radtke against Francisco Prado. You know what I mean? So, yeah, as I said, it's a fire fight, right? So, Francisco Prado, he's 53, 5'10", 69 and a third inch reach. He is 12-4. Fights out of American Top Team, right? Unfortunately, he's currently 1-4 in the UFC. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. You know what I mean? So won that debut and then it just, well, no, didn't even win the debut. Okay, so he debuted in February 2023. Lost a unanimous decision to Jamie Malarkey. He then stopped Utman Atazar, right? First round, that was July 2023. Bounced back, got a performance of the night. You know what I mean? So yeah, 2023 wasn't too bad. So 2024, he comes back in February, loses a decision to Daniel Zellhuber. Was fight of the night though, you know what I mean? Lost a unanimous to Jake Matthews in February 2025. And then July 2025, a split decision to Nikolai Ventakenov. Yeah, so it's been better for Prado. You know what I mean? He's definitely had better times on the regional circuit. He's won titles, he's defended titles, so there's been that side of things. You know what I mean? Like, look, he's got good submissions, right? Varied arm bars, rear naked, guillotines, triangles. You know what I mean? He's hit all of those, right? Van Flew. He's got knockouts, ground and pound, standing, So he's well versed. But those are the regionals, That's the thing. You can do that kind of thing when you're the big fish in the small pond. But what happens when you step up? So it is all on the line for Prado. I think this is a must-win situation, which is all well. But when you're staring down Charles Chuck Buffalo Radtke, could be tough, right? Could be tough. Now, Prado is the younger fighter. He's 23. Radtke's 35. He's 5'9", 72-inch reach, right? Radtke is an inch shorter, but he has just under 3-inch reach advantage. Charles 7-5, coming off a win in his last outing. He is currently 4-2 in the UFC, right? So we had him make his debut September 2023. He beat Mike Mafatha, right? Unanimous decision. He then knocked out Gilbert Arbrino, February 2024. right? He lost to Carlos Pratos, right? Got knocked out with a knee. That was June 2024. Came back with a knockout of Matthew Simmonsberger. Got performance of the night for that, November 2024. He got stopped by Malat, May 2025. But came back that year, November, and beat Daniel Ferronza. Caught him with a rear naked in the third round. Yo, you know? So, yeah, it's an interesting bout, right? Because Radtke, he also has got submissions, you know? He's also got submissions, he's got knockouts, right? And I think it's fair to say, right, Radtke fought a lot under the CFFC banner, right, which is a higher level of competition, right? There's some certain regionals where you go, okay, that's, you know, they have good matchups, you know, and we do see those as breeding grounds for the top promotions, right? So when you fall under those banners and you pulled off, you know, subs and, yeah, like, I think you can look at that slightly differently, you know? So, yeah, Radtke, he's got that background. So I think this is a well put together outing. I just have a feeling, right, that it's Buffalo time, baby. You know what I mean? All right, so from welterweight, we move up to the middleweights. It's Kelvin Gastelum against Vicente Luque. And the silent assassin, Vicente Luque, he's 34, 5'11", 76-inch reach. Overall pro record of 23-12-1. Yo, I mean, he is a vet, you know, Luque. Fights out of Killcliff. Yeah, 16-8 in the UFC, right? He has been around for a long ass time. Came via the Ultimate Fighter back in the day, right? Which is just, damn, season 21, supposedly. It's a long ass time ago. Really was. You know what I mean? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So yeah, he took part in that. It didn't quite work out. Right? Didn't quite work out. But it's all good. You know? It's all good. It's funny as well because he lost, right, to Haida Hassan, I think, in the second round. Then he lost his UFC debut, right, in July 2015. However, right, so, I mean, it was the UFC debut. It was the Ultimate Fighter finale, right? But, it, you know, it is a debut as such. But then he gets revenge on Haida Hassan, right? So he lost a split and he choked him out in the first round. So, yeah, I'm sure Vicente felt good about that, right? Because Hassan didn't go on to win it. So it's like, you know. So, yeah, you know, he fought a lot of people, right? A lot of people. Bilal, Muhammad, Leon Edwards, Nico Price, Jalen Turner, Brian Barberina, Mike Perry, Stephen Thompson, Randy Brown, Tyron Woodley, right? Michael Chiesa, Rafael dos Santos, right? So many good fighters. And he's had a good run. There have been some odd fights, right? Like the Joaquin Buckley fight, where it just, I don't know, the optics of that were very odd, right? So there's been some odd ones, but you know what I mean? Like he came back, got a good win over Fiemba Garumbo, right? But after that, right, he got choked out. Funny, because he got Garumbo with an anaconda, and then Kevin Holland caught him with an anaconda the very next fight, right? And he lost a decision to Joel Alvarez. So, I don't know. Because I think with the Garumba fight, we can see there's still power in there, right? There's still a thirst. But, like, are we drawing to the twilight of Vicente's career? I think it's fair to say, yeah, he's not going to be around for years more. But how much more does he have? How much juice is left in the can? That's the big one. He is going up against Kelvin Gastelum. And I mean, it's an interesting one. Just before us, right? Because Gastelum, it's an interesting career Kelvin has had. Right? He's 34. So, only same age. I was going to say a year younger, but they're the same age, right? Gastelum's 5'9", 71.5-inch reach. So, interestingly enough, Luque is taller and he's got a longer reach, which is, right? Gastelum's overall is 20-10 with 1 no contest. He is 14-10 and 1 no contest in the UFC, which is a crazy record. When you think about the fact that he's a good fighter, right? The record really does speak to his discipline, which is such a freaking shame, man. Former Ultimate Fighter winner. Last time out, he got a unanimous decision over Dustin Stufos. But once again, he missed weight. It has really just been the calling card of his career. Right? And the problem is, right, when you look at like Tapology and things such as that, it doesn't necessarily show he missed weight on some of the fights because the fights were made catch weights. You know what I mean? So it doesn't come off as they missed weight because he was gonna miss and then they arranged something, which is unfair, right? Because a lot of these, like the Daniel Rodriguez one, it's just, you felt so bad for Rodriguez because, like Gastelum, it was just, oh man, it just sucks. It really fucking sucks, you know? Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. You know. So looking back, right? Because he's basically grown up in the UFC. You know, he came to the Ultimate Fighter, and no one thought he was gonna win. I think he was the young on the show. And after Uriah Hall, like basically took someone's head off. Everyone thought Hall was gonna win, but then he beat Hall, split decision in the final. You know what I mean? So that was back in April 2013. Oh my gosh, Josh Shaman was on that one as well. I forgot Josh was on that season. Man, so yeah, he won that. Won his next fight, August. You know, beat Brian Melacano, rear naked choke. Beat Rick Story. He then, right, his next fight is the first weight miss. Right? Beat Jake Ellenberger. Lost to Tyron Woodley. Missed weight again. Right? And I think that's been it, man. Like, he is fought some of the best, right? Tyron, Neil Magny, Johnny Hendricks, Tim Kennedy, Vitor Belfort, right? Chris Weidman, Michael Bisping, Ronaldo Sousa, right? Jacare. That epic fight with Adesanya, right? Darren Till, Jack Hermanson. Man, Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier. He has fought so many good fighters. A lot of them have been losses, you know. But I think that's another big thing with Gastelum. He's fighting at middleweight. He's a welterweight, right? He's a welterweight with no discipline. That is just, I mean, yeah. The biggest fight for Gastelum this weekend is the scale, right? And I think the scale, it will tell us a lot, right? I mean, obviously, right? He's coming off a win in his last fight, but it is one of those ones where if he misses weight again, it wouldn't even surprise me if he got cut. Wouldn't surprise, like, Luque needs a win, but I kind of feel that Gastelum needs to make weight. Otherwise, it could just be it, right? Because it's so fucking disruptive, you know? It's a weird fight to pick because, yeah, as I said, Luque has, you know what I mean? There's been fights where it looks like he's just kind of given up, although you don't want to say that, right? But then, you know, as in the Garumbe fight, you go, okay, no, right? He's still doing his thing. Gastelum, there's fights that he's won recently, and it's been kind of like because he's missed weight, essentially. So it's easier to take a shot, right? And when you're heavier, you're hitting someone, yeah, you're going to move them because you're bigger than them, you know? So it really depends how both of these turn up, you know? It's all about that. I have no confidence in this decision whatsoever. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is that. Now, our featured bout of the early prelims, we drop all the way down now to the lightweights, right? We have Chris Padilla against MarQuel Mederos. Okie dokie. So, with this one. Chris Taco Padilla. He is 30, 5'9", 74-inch reach. 17-6 overall. 7-fight win streak. He's 4-0 in the UFC. Right? Made his debut April 2024. He beat James Lontop, caught him for a rear in the first round. Right? He then beats Runghu September same year. Doctor stopped it early in the second. He gets a split win over Jai Herbert in March 2025. And then his most impressive so far, he stopped Ishmael Bonfim. Second round ground and pound, November last year. Right? So, you know what I mean? It's been good. Right? He's won titles. I don't know, for UNF, right? He won their lightweight title. Just before coming to the promotion. I think he's fought a lot of times for that promotion. He's got knockouts, right? He's had a rear naked. It's funny because the early career is like a little up and down, but he's kind of really put it together, right? It started off well, right? Hit a bit of a rough patch, but yeah, as I say, he's pulled it together. And yeah, when you look at it, he's got knockouts, he's got submissions. A lot of those fights were XFS. I have no clue what that is, right? But yeah, it's like regional stuff. So what's the caliber of the opposition? But since coming to the UFC, he has looked good, right? He has looked good. And as I said, that last win, very impressive. Now, he's going up against MarQuel Mederos, who is a year younger at 29, 5'10", and a 65.5-inch reach. So, yeah, Mederos, he is an inch taller, but he's got a 4.5-inch reach deficit, He is 11-1. Right, a 9-fight win streak. He's 3-0 in the UFC. Came via the Contender Series. Won that contract October 2023. He beat Isaiah Iskov. Knocked him out first round with a knee. And right before that, like, he's fought under the Fury FC banner, right? Had a few wins there, knocking people out, right? So he's got power in those hands, right? Power in those hands. No submissions. Don't know what the ground game is like. But after winning that contract, right, he made his debut February 2024. Beat Landon Quinarez via decision. Gets a split over Austin Hubbard in March 2025. And then a unanimous over Mark Koniski in June last year. So, been doing his thing, right? Been doing his thing. It is, two good fighters on big win streaks. Padilla 7, Mederos 9, right? Oh man, it's definitely a tough one because when you look at Padilla and you see, the subs and the strikes, right? With Mederos, he's very durable, right? He has got knockouts, but he does go to a decision a lot, which not a bad thing, people. Definitely not a bad thing, right? Gas tank is one of the most vital weapons you can come in the octagon with. But you go, oh, how's this gonna go? Right? They're roughly the same age. It's a tough one. I think Padilla may have the most weapons, right? So I think we're gonna go Padilla, but a very intriguing fight to our prelims proper. So yeah, I mean, three good fights, people. Three very good fights. I'm definitely on board.